actors to speak to. Okay.
All right, we are live. You have to check. Yeah, yeah, it looks like we are live indeed on YouTube.
Not seen it quite yet.
Well,
There we go.
cool beans. Yeah, I think it's always a little bit behind. Like it could even be like 10 seconds behind. I'm not so sure. But either way, we'll be able to look at people chatting as they come in.
Well, hopefully we get someone in here who can tell me if they can hear me or not.
I'm almost certain that they can right now, but as a matter of fact, here, say something. I'm almost certain that
Testing.
they
One,
can right
two,
now,
three.
but
Testing.
as a matter of fact, here, say something. I'm almost
Gaming
certain
Matic is here.
that
Testing.
they
One,
can
two,
right now,
three.
but
Can you hear me?
as a matter of fact, here, say something. I'm almost
Gaming
certain.
Matic is.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can hear you. Yeah, cool.
oh, perfect. Awesome.
Um,
All right.
Either way, once the stream's over, we can publish it on YouTube, and it'll just stay there, and people can watch it, whatever. Um, and I can also clip parts of it if I need to. But
All right. Well,
cool. So let's just get into it, and anybody who wants to chime in as we go can do so. So we're gonna start from episode number 1, "The Boy in the Iceberg." Initial thoughts.
well, I mean, it's gets the series started, introduces us to the world of Avatar, as well as Zuko and Iroh as they see Aang emerge from the iceberg. I think it's a great episode. I don't think it gets us started well in a good place. I'll start with A or B tier. Your thoughts?
I'm okay. So it is good. It has a wonderful exposition by Katara in the beginning. I I'm kind of feeling like B or C ish. So maybe we could just settle in B and just say that it's like I
All
I,
right.
I don't know. It kind of C though because Avatar like it's a good show. So like it only gets so bad, you know?
Yeah, but I'm thinking of a lot of the other episodes or episodes in season one, and we see a lot of
You're
just
right.
more
Yeah.
character building, not too much evolving of the plot. I
Yeah.
think this one really gets us started.
Okay. Okay. So we'll say B for now, and if we feel differently in the future, we can change it. But
All right,
cool.
I like it.
Okay, so the Avatar returns, pretty much like the same thing, I guess. I mean, right? Like it's just the part 2 to that.
Yeah, we see Aang defend the Southern Water Tribe, offer himself as prisoner, and then that's the first time we see Aang go ham on some firebenders. Uh,
Yeah, I do like that. I like it more, but I don't think it's an A tier though.
I agree. So I
Okay,
think
so
we put
okay,
that
I'll
above
just
it in B tier.
yeah, yeah. Okay, well, yeah.
Are we ordering by
Yeah, we
in
might as
each
well.
tier?
Yeah, let's just do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. If it gets too much, we'll just stop, but yeah. Um okay, so the Southern Air Temple.
All right. So in this episode, we see the gang visit Sun Air Temple in hopes that Aang might find his uh, long gone airbenders, as well as the B plot, which is Zuko and his uncle repairing their ship after
Yeah.
Aang's Avatar State fiasco, and Zuko dueling Zhao.
Okay, I like the Zuko Zhao duel, but like I feel like it's kind of a slow episode. Like it doesn't really ramp up until like the end where you get the duel and then like Aang going into the Avatar state.
Um, I agree. I think we get some flashbacks
Okay.
to Aang and uh, Gyatso in this. It's really nice and getting to build his story arc and see what airbending life was like. So I want to push for A tier, to be honest.
Oh,
I love the Zuko storyline just because this is the first time we see Zuko not as just the bad guy. We see him spare Zhao's life, and what happens when he shows that weakness, and Iroh has to step in for him once again.
hmm. That's true. I don't think it's A tier. I really don't. Like I feel like only like I don't know. It's not screaming A tier to me, but I
All
can
right.
see it being upper B tier. Like, uh, yeah, cool.
Ooh, we have Epics fight in S tier as well as Requiem General.
I
But
have a hard disagree on that because honestly, most of what I remember from that episode is like, hey, here's the Hall of Avatars. Hey, let's chase Momo. It's just like a lot of like kind of just boring stuff until you get to the end, really. Um,
All right.
It's like
We'll
it's
leave
nice
the
to
top
see
of
the
the for now.
backstory and stuff, but yeah.
Okay. Also, are we trying to go for more of a uniform distribution or normal distribution with these?
I mean, probably uniform.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
But I mean, it doesn't matter though. I mean, like whatever we think they ought to be. I mean, if it, I mean, I would say
Okay.
very
All
few should be in S tier. If
right.
that, yeah.
Well,
Anyway, Kyoshi Warriors or the Warriors of Kyoshi, I should say.
you can start. What are your thoughts?
Um, Initial thoughts. It's a good episode. You meet Suki. The whole village of Kyoshi is really cool. I think like the storyline there is nice. You get backstory on like that's the only other Avatar you've really heard about. You don't hear much about Roku prior. Um, I I don't really know. For some reason that episode kind of it bores me a little bit. Um, Maybe because it is a lot of like plot building and like kind of it's the lesson is like oh like Aang doesn't want to be too uh like I'm the Avatar, you know. Like I guess that's kind of the lesson behind the episode.
Yeah, I kind of there with you. I get a lot of secondhand embarrassment from Katara in this episode, and Aang for
Mm,
that matter. When she's jealous of Coco and all the other little girls on Kyoshi
yeah,
Island. And I don't like how the serpent's cool and all, but I don't like how that's kind of
it's kind of random.
overshadows. Yeah, like there's an attack from the Fire Nation, which should be the peak of that episode. I don't feel like they
Yeah.
delivered up quite as well.
I also don't like that the rain that like comes out of the Unagi's mouth just like extinguishes all the fire. Like it just seemed like too cliche. I'm thinking C tier.
I was gonna go D on this one.
You think? I mean, I'm okay putting it there if you really feel that way.
Yeah, it's Avatar. So are there really that many bad
Yeah, yeah.
episodes?
That's kind of where I was thinking with the other three. Really, is like that's a pretty this is a pretty hot I should say low bar as far as B tier goes for
Yeah.
episodes in my opinion, but we'll see. Um, all right, King of Omashu.
All
Uh,
right. This is the first episode. Little fun fact for you guys. This is the first episode where we see all four types of bending in an episode.
Ooh, that's true. Um,
Uh,
First earthbending at all, right? Or pretty much.
Um. Yeah, I don't think we see anything in the Warriors of Kyoshi. We'll see anything in the Southern Air Temple. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think this is the first earthbending episode. I pretty much have to say that I automatically like this episode more than any of the ones we've done so far.
Really?
I think so. I really liked this episode. I thought, well, maybe it's just because I love earthbending, but Omashu is just such a cool place. And I did kind of like like when you watch it for the first time and you get that twist at the end that Boomy is Aang's friend from 100 years ago. Like, I do like that.
Yeah, no, I like that, but I think similarly to the Southern Air Temple, a lot of this episode doesn't really do it for me. It feels kind of slow.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Because, the like the challenges are kind of annoying. Like, you're just waiting for them to be over.
Right.
Um, okay. I mean, so in that case, I would say either like top of the B tier or right before the Southern Air Temple.
Ooh, I was gonna argue C. Okay.
Really? Okay. Well, I mean, we can ask the
All
people
right.
what they think, but
All right. I'm thinking, yeah, that's a good spot for it now, behind Southern Air Temple.
all right. Cool, cool. Imprisoned. This episode is like one of the most easily forgotten, but I actually really like this episode. Um, I think more than most people give it credit for because I just think it's really cool. Like the end is satisfying. Like everyone, escapes and their village is gonna come back. I like that Katara, even though she is a little cringy, I do like that you kind of get that whole, like you see what her role is. Like she kind of falls into her role, a little bit, and I don't know. It's got some funny moments. It's fun to see the warden get dropped into the water. I don't know. I thought it was kind of neat. Thoughts?
Yeah. I think I have a predisposed bias against this episode because I feel like it was always on Nickelodeon when I was a kid.
True.
But you bring up some good points. I love how the warden is a direct mimic of Shawshank Redemption. If anyone's seen that movie. Um, I think it's a perfectly fine episode. I'm personally gonna go C tier on it.
I think you're probably right. It doesn't have like the backstory exposition type stuff that some of these ones do. That like kind of puts them over the top. I think this is a good example of a C episode.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. The Spirit World. In Avatar Roku. So these are actually the Winter Solstice Part 1 and Part 2. So we
Hmm.
can kind of rank them together, maybe. Um,
Oh, they're two very different episodes in my mind.
I agree, but I just wasn't sure if we kind of like. I guess since they're split out, we might as well rank them separately. Um, but as far as really both of them, I guess especially the first one with Hey Bye, like that whole deal. I did not like that episode at all. Like it might be one of my least favorite Avatar episodes.
Ooh.
I can't really put my finger on why. I think it's just because I find the spirit world kind of boring in this episode. Um, he doesn't really. I, I don't know. Like I just imagine like the only part that's even remotely climactic is when Sokka gets taken and then Aang like touches Heibai and then just makes him feel better by showing him an acorn. Like I don't know. There's not a whole lot of like crazy action unless I'm missing something.
Chad disagrees with you very heavily here.
I'm
I think you're also
shit.
forgetting the B plot too, where Iroh gets captured by the group of Earth Kingdom soldiers,
Okay,
and
that redeems this episode a little bit.
yeah, I love the scene too where we see Aang on Roku's dragon, and he sees it but no one else does, and that gives us the first hint that there's a little more to Iroh than just the drunken fool.
That's true. That's true.
But granted, that's a small moment in the show.
Yeah.
Um, I'll go C tier on it. I think there's too much world building in it not to be lower.
Yeah, I mean, before or after imprisoned. I mean, obviously, I want to put it before imprisoned, but
I think it's higher than imprisoned.
all right.
Do you disagree?
I mean, yes, I do, but like the chat is saying like A tier for some reason, so I guess we can keep it there.
All right.
Um, okay. Um, Avatar Roku. So that one's automatically better than the previous one. Are we in agreement
Oh
on
yeah,
that? Okay.
absolutely.
And it's super cool to see Roku. It's super cool that he uses lava bending. Fire sages are kind of cool, I guess. I thought it was kind of weird that they betrayed the Avatar. Like to me, it just doesn't seem right. Like I would have thought that all of them would have been like Shayu. Um, but if I had to place it like prematurely, I would I would probably put it here.
I can't see it because I'm behind.
Oh, okay. Well, right before King of Omashu. I don't think I
Okay.
like it as much as King of Omashu, but it's close.
I think I was gonna give it the first A tier personally.
Okay. I mean, I don't know
Um,
what
I
other people say, but
I think the scene with Zuko trying to track down the Avatar and beat Zhao there was really cool.
oh, the blockade, that was cool. Yeah.
Right. And we also get to see like Avatar Roku for the first time, which is super awesome in the way he helps Aang escape.
I like that Sokka gets to show his ingenuity a little bit for this in this episode.
Oh yeah. Yeah, about
It's
that.
kind of good character development for Sokka. We got one B tier. Um, I mean, I still don't know about A tier on that one. I mean, I would say maybe upper B tier. I mean, we can move it up, but
I kind of want to push top of B tier because it's also not as it's not as like
it's not as
uh
slow. It's definitely not as
yeah,
slow.
it's not as slap happy either as some of the season one episodes.
True. It's a little more serious. Um, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, next one. Here we go.
The waterbending scroll. So, I don't know. Episodes like this get a lot of hate because one, they were played over and over again on Nickelodeon, but also because like they don't directly pertain to the plot. Like all they kind of do is give you like that like, hey, Zuko's chasing them still. Katara kind of knows waterbending and Aang needs to start learning it. Um so like yes, it does further the plot. I don't think there's any Avatar episode that's like 100% useless really. Um but except for maybe the
Well,
Green
there is
Divide.
one.
But as far as the waterbending scroll, I mean, I don't hate it. I kind of I'm leaning towards like I really like the pirates. I love how the pirates and Zuko like are in cahoots. Um,
Yeah, that's cool.
and the end is kind of cool. Like I think it's neat. Like and Aang picks up waterbending. Um, so I mean, I was kind of thinking it maybe bottom of C.
I think it's better than Warriors of Kyoshi. This one gives me even more secondhand embarrassment with how Qatar gets so mad that Aang's a quick learner.
Oh,
I agree.
that's true. That's true.
And the don't steal from pirates line, or don't steal unless it's from pirates line,
Mm-hmm.
drives me crazy.
Yeah, I don't really like the "it was in my sleeve the whole time." I mean, it's funny, but like
Oh, I enjoyed
Ira.
that.
I mean, it's funny, but it's also like, bruh. Um,
What does chat say about this one?
yeah, we need some input. I mean, I don't care. I mean, if it's top of D, that's whatever. Like you said, there's not a whole lot of bad Avatar episodes, but chat is silent.
I think it's the worst one we've had yet. So
Really? Okay. Uh,
personally,
I guess you're right. Katara does give a lot of embarrassment with that. Um, yeah.
about two conferences.
All right. Since chat is dead, let's go on to Jet.
Ooh, okay.
For some
Um,
reason, I don't like this episode a whole lot. Like, not a whole lot. It's interesting, but like, other than introducing Jet, there's really not a whole lot of like. This is also kind of one of those episodes where it's like, why does this exist? Like, you meet a lot of new characters, sure, but that doesn't really come to fruition until way later in season two.
yeah, that's a good point. I think this is a lot of Sokka character development,
Mm-hmm.
and that he's realizing that this is the first. I think so. I think this is the first guy who's not a firebender. That's bad. Um, but I don't really think it is enough to redeem the episode.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking like, and I also just can't stand Jet. Like he just makes me mad, like through and through. I guess because he's like a scumbag from the beginning.
Yeah,
So I kind of want to. I mean, honestly, I would put it like in between these two, maybe
yeah,
In D tier.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I don't know if somebody says high B tier because they love the environment.
It's cool. It's reminiscent of Star Wars, and you have like the treehouse fort. It's cool.
Yeah, I just don't think that redeems the episode though. Like as far as the plot goes.
No.
Yeah. Um,
Do we
cool.
need to talk about the next one?
No, not really. Should I just put it? Should I just put it in hot garbage and call it a day?
I think so.
All right. Let's. I'm gonna delete this. Delete the F tier. I'll just have. I'll just call. I'll call F tier hot garbage, and that's that.
Oh, okay. I like that more.
Yeah. The gaming Matic is yelling no.
Yeah, I'm looking at the other episodes. I don't think I'm gonna see anything that's
That's the
as bad
thing.
as yeah.
Like if we have to say something is hot garbage, it would have to be the Great Divide.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was just trying to think of something that could be F tier.
Yeah. And
Between the two.
even then, I have to clarify that I still like every episode of Avatar. Like even the Great Divide, as not great as it is, it's still a good show.
I think it's the best part about this episode is how we see bending used in like in a natural environment that's not fighting.
That's true. Well, and the environment's kind of neat. I mean, it is cool that they're in like basically the Grand Canyon of the Avatar world.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and it also gives you an idea of like, hey, refugees are traveling to Ba Sing Se. I think it's the first episode that kind of introduces that.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Forgot about that.
so it does kind of add this notion of, hey, the Fire Nation is uprooting people from their homes. Like these are two whole tribes that had to get up through. So I do kind of like that aspect of it, but you're right in the sense that it really just doesn't contribute a whole lot to like even character development. Like Aang doesn't have like any character development. Um, and Sokka and Katara just
Yeah.
kind of randomly agree with the tribes, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, the storm. I love this storm. It's so cool. The
It is a
backstories.
great episode.
I'm just gonna move
It's
it up here.
it has to be at least A,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think it's a solid A episode. Actually, I don't think it's an S tier, but I do think it's a good A tier episode.
I'm thinking.
I mean, I kind of think since it's our first one, we should kind of wait and feel things out, and if you want to move it up later, we can.
Okay. Okay. I
All
can get
right.
behind that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we need to talk about this one too much. I think most people know why we love this episode. Um, yeah.
Yeah, Egg and Zuko's. And once again, get a nice scene of Zuko, uh, being the good guy again, saving
Yeah.
his lieutenant, I think.
Yeah, his lieutenant. And he ignores the Avatar, too, because he's like, hey, we need to get to the Eye of the Storm, like, for safety.
Hmm.
So it kind of gives you first glimpse of, like, good Zuko, potentially. Um, all right. Moving on to the Blue Spirit.
All right. I was gonna say I think we're gonna disagree on this one, but I forget you have some gripes with this episode.
I not really. I mean, it's a really exciting episode. I just think that the first half of it is kind of boring. Like Aang like going to that lady in the
Yeah,
greenhouse, like that's just filler. Like
I agree.
so, I'm kind of thinking like maybe low B, upper C, that area.
Yeah, Chad agrees. I think Upper C. It's a
Okay.
cool episode. Yeah, it's slow, and then I know you have beef with the line of like we won't kill him
Oh,
because of this.
yeah. That's my beef with this episode. Thank you for reminding me. My big in all of Avatar, like every single episode, the number one thing that makes me mad is that Zhao did not just kill Aang. Like,
I I disagree with that full heartedly, but
why?
because they just spent 100 years trying to find the Avatar.
I get it, but it's like if they know, like you know darn well that they know about Sozin's comet coming, and they've already had it planned well in advance to, pretty much win the war when Sozin's comet comes. Like they're gonna take over the Earth Kingdom. And like if they had that planned out at all, like I know they didn't have the exact invasion plan like for the Earth Kingdom set in stone at that point, but still, it's like man alive, if you kill the Avatar right now, uh, first of all, he'll be born into one of the water tribes, which are way easier to search. I mean, shoot, if it's the southern one, you already got that covered. Like, uh, second of all, no one will be expecting the Avatar because like no one, most people don't even know the Avatar's around yet. Um, and it's just like it buys them 10 years at least. Buys them 10 years of like a growing, developing Avatar who chances are in the world then wouldn't even be able to learn the four elements. Like Zhang barely learned them. So I don't know. That's just where I'm at. That's why I hate that episode.
Yeah. Oh,
Anyway, I could go on and on, but yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's in the right spot though.
yeah. All right. Uh, the fortune teller. This is one of those useless ones, other than seeing how powerful Aang is and kind of love interest development, I guess.
Yeah, we see Sokka as man of science, I guess.
Kinda, yeah.
I do like this episode. I honestly can't tell you why, so it does have to be low, but I can
Yeah,
sit through it. It's not as painful for me.
yeah. I mean, I think I have to just put it down with these other D episodes because it's just kind of in that zone.
Yeah,
But like, and honestly, I think I like it more than Jet, but I don't know if I like it more than the Kyoshi Warriors.
that's fine. I would have gone after Jet, but I'm fine with where you had it.
Well, I have it in front of Jet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Um. Yeah. People are saying C tier. Yeah, we're putting it in D just because I think D has kind of become our sort of filler episode list. Um, okay, Bato of the Water Tribe. I think a lot of people hate this episode, and I perfectly agree with them.
Yeah. The Shearshoe, when Zuko and Iroh attack them with Jade at the
June.
Abbey. Huh?
June, not Jade.
June.
Yeah.
Oh.
Um,
Seriously, Jade. Uh,
she
yeah,
does.
but it's cool. We get some information about their dad and Southern Water Tribe culture.
But it's
Secondhand
still
embarrassment just strikes again way too hard.
honestly, I'm kind of like I'm thinking hot garbage, maybe, in like in front of the Great Divide. I never remember this episode. Sure, you get the whole like Sokka gaining his rite of passage or whatever, but it's like that's kind of boring. Um, I mean, yeah, the Shirshu's cool. The fight between Aang and Zuko's kind of cool, but the rest of it is just kind of like, bruh.
I want to go bottom of D.
All right,
I still have some value.
I can get down with that. Um, all right, the Deserter.
Ooh,
Initial thoughts?
great episode. I don't think we have any B plot here. A
Mhm.
typical Zhao battle. Learn or Aang gets his first experience with firebending. Katara learns healing. Super cool. Your thoughts?
Uh, I kind of agree with chat. I mean, somebody's saying the Zhong's B tier. Um, I think this is a very very forgettable episode for one. So that's not a good look on any episode. Zhong himself is really cool. I think like as far as masters go, Zhong's it. Like Zhong exemplifies what I imagine a bending master being like very reserved, especially like with firebending. How he's like look, man, you gotta focus first. You know, you gotta focus on your breathing. Like he knows what Iroh knows. You know how the origin of firebending is like it comes from the breath. Um, and plus, Zhong exhibits some of the most powerful firebending we've seen in the entire show, and it's not during Sozin's Comet.
Wait, what's he do aside from his escape?
Well, the escape was sweet, but think about that giant wall of fire that he summoned, like when Zhao's boats were on the river.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
Dude
that.
is powerful, and you don't get to see the half of it. I don't think. I bet you, Zhong is so much more powerful than anyone gives him credit for.
Yeah. I mean, Zhang absolutely A tier character.
Hmm.
Episode though, I think we also acknowledge Aang's very eager to learn, and we see Roku actually argue on behalf of Aang, which is
Which
interesting.
I thought was so weird. I thought that was weird because
Yeah.
because Zhong seemed like he was right. He was like, "Hey, you need to master water and earthbending first." And then Roku comes in like, "No, you're gonna teach him." Like, what? So maybe C tier somewhere in there.
Uh, no, I think it has to be B tier. Maybe
Really?
behind Southern Air Temple or
Uh,
lower than Southern Air Temple.
um, maybe you're right. Because I'm not a huge fan of like the beginning episodes compared to Zhong. Like, yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, cool. I don't know if there's any other remarks on that one, but
I don't think so.
all right. The Northern Air Temple. Initial thoughts.
I'm not a fan of this one. I think the coolest thing in this episode is seeing Sokka kind of come to his own as the strategist that we know him to be.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, we have the plot line of Aang becoming okay with people who need a home, finding a home in the Northern Air Temple, which is nice and wholesome and a good Avatar episode, but I don't think it adds too much to the overall story or too much character development.
You know, this episode, I don't know why, it just gives Warrior of Kyoshi vibes.
It does.
It
It
really
really
does.
does.
I think it's like it introduces characters, has a little bit of development, but it's really not all that. And personally, I think I like it less than Warriors of Kyoshi just because Kyoshi is so cool.
I agree.
All right. Easy peasy. The Waterbending Master.
Actually, I want to drop back a second
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
acknowledge the chat. 'Cause I do want to talk about the battle in that episode,
Hmm.
but we totally disregard Aang's
Yeah,
hatred for
pacifism.
killing.
Yeah. Dude just wipes out the entire mountainside. Like, yeah, that doesn't make
Oh,
a whole lot of sense.
but I do absolutely love that cliffhanger at the very end where they find the
Yes.
blimp,
I
and
love
you
that.
forget about that entirely until
Hmm.
the finale, and that's just awesome.
Yeah, like unless you've seen the whole show, like or once you've seen the whole show and then you go back to that episode and you watch the part where he's like this failure or this failure is the beginning of many victories or whatever. I love that. Um, yeah, that was really cool. Anyway, the waterbending master.
Do we have? I'm trying to see if we have a Zuko plotline here. Oh, we do. This is where Zhao attempts to assassinate Zuko.
Oh yeah, you're right. That was crazy. I like how the pirates make a comeback there.
Yeah, yeah, that was nice. Obviously, we also see them get to the Northern Water Tribe. Zuko meets Yue for the first time, and they can do an activity together.
Hmm.
Then we have Katara character development as well as meeting Master Paku.
Yeah. I think I love the environment in this episode is so cool. And also by the time you get to this episode, you are just so happy they finally made it to the Northern Water Tribe.
Mm,
Because you're just waiting for it, like the whole, all of season one, you're waiting for them to finally get there and for them to start learning. Which by the end of the episode, he does start teaching Katara, I believe, right?
yeah, he does. That
Yeah,
that turnaround though just makes me really mad. It's like,
I agree.
oh, you are the granddaughter of my ex-girlfriend. Now I'm okay with it.
Right, right. That is weird, and I think that whole like sexism bit was kind of unnecessary. Like it was just kind of thrown in there. Um, I mean, I do think it's cool that they had like their like it's like their culture. Like that was kind of a neat like concept. Um, but the fact that it was like it just felt really forced, and the fact that like look, this girl's trying to help the Avatar. You're not gonna teach her just because of your dumb old culture. I don't know. I thought that was dumb.
Yeah, there's another part of this episode I wanted to acknowledge. What was it? Oh, this this waterbending battle is. I think there's only one other waterbending battle I can think of in the show, which is Katara versus the puppet master. Oh, what's her name? Hana.
Hama.
Hama.
Yeah.
I think that's only it. And this battle is so cool. We get to see how water is all about turning your opponent's ammo into ammunition for yourself.
Oh, true, true. I do really like that. It's really cool to see like two essentially waterbending masters going up against each other.
Yeah.
And I mean, but aside from that, I do think this episode's just a whole lot of setup. But it's so cool. Like the environment is so cool. Paku's pretty cool. Um, I'm thinking C tier.
Um. Yeah, I'll go there with you.
I like personally. I don't. I think I might like it more than the Blue Spirit, but I'm right around there.
I can go behind Blues.
Right
I'll get there with you. Sure.
after Blue, and like in front of C tier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either of those spots are
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. We'll go with that. Okay. Now we have the Siege of the North, Part One and Part Two. Um, we don't want to rank them together or separately.
Separately.
Okay. Okay. Siege of the North,
Uh,
Part One. I think that's kind of the whole bit, like up until uh the moon. The moon comes up again. I believe like in the second one, or or the sunrise. I forget what it is. Go ahead.
uh, yeah, I can read off you. So, Northern Mario tribe braces against attack by the Fire Nation. Meanwhile, Zuko sneaks into the North Pole to capture the Avatar. Aang, realizing that the Water Tribe cannot defeat Zhao's fleet alone, decides to visit the Spirit World to get help from the Moon and Ocean Spirits.
So Ko's in this one. In this one, then.
So, I believe this probably ends when Zuko captures Aang and takes him to the
Oh,
tundra.
you're right. So
But
he hasn't seen Ko yet. I don't think.
correct.
Okay.
No, he's not. Um,
Um. Yeah. What do you think?
well, so we also get to see emo Sokka in this episode. He wants to go on a secret mission, but we also get to see once again the strategy side of him and how he's coming into his own as a man. We get to see Zuko once again not giving up in that really cool scene where he sneaks into Northern Water Tribe. I think this is also the episode where Xiao absolutely demolishes Han, or is that in the second half?
No, I think you're right. I think Han like comes in and and Zhao just throws him overboard like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Like I guess like it's cool. I love the whole scene where Aang goes and takes out like the one ship and just annihilates it, and then he realizes there's like 100.
Oh, that's cool.
I love that part, but also this episode is really just a build up to the next one. So it can't be that great, I guess.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's just an A tier.
Really? Uh, I mean, I was thinking like maybe top of B, but I don't know. Maybe I could get down with that. Um,
Yeah, I think it's just really cool because you kind of get to see the first glimpse of what the war actually is.
yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. And they make that cool library reference too, which I love. Um, like Zhao makes
Oh,
it.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, definitely below the storm though. It's not that good.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Siege of the North Part 2.
Koizilla.
Koizilla.
All right. So I think we kind of know what happens in this episode.
Hmm.
He meets Ko, the face dealer, discovers that the fish is the moon spirit, which is too little, too late. As Zhao comes back and kills it, Yue turns into the moon. Aang turns into Koizilla, and wipes out the Fire Nation. That about it?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I mean, yeah, the whole end is so cool. I think it's really neat how Iroh. I love the part where Iroh comes in and he's like, whatever you do to that spirit, I'll unleash on you tenfold. I love that line.
That is a
Uh, like
fantastic
it
line.
shows how much Iroh appreciates the spirit world, and obviously Aang being, taking on the form of like the ocean spirit there and just wiping out the army, or at least warding them away, I guess. Um, and then you get the whole scene where like Zuko and Zhao finally kind of like agree that the Avatar is their mutual enemy, but then by that point, Koizilla already had Zhao, and Zhao like essentially dies.
Yeah. Um, I think that's a cool ending for Zhao, though.
Hmm.
I don't know you're not a huge fan of him, but I think he's a fantastic
Well, no,
character.
I do think it's cool. Like his whole thing is that he's stubborn, and so at the very end, he refuses to grab Zuko's hand, and that's why he died. You remember that?
Um,
He like clutched his hand
oh yeah,
back.
of course.
Yeah, I like that.
Overall, though, I think episode top of A tier.
Top of A tier, maybe S tier.
I could be talked into S tier. I kind of want to keep going, see where we end
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
But
yeah. All right, cool. The Avatar State. We're in season 2 now.
sir, let me pull up the Avatar week.
Cool. Season 2. Epic said the episode taught him what tenfold meant. Yeah, just 10 times.
All right, so just a quick refresher on the episode. After leaving the North Pole, Aang and the group travel to the Earth Kingdom military base to receive an escort to Amashu. We also get the scene where Aang and Katara both get gifts, and then Sokka gets nothing. So Aang can learn Earthbending from King Bumi. The general there reveals surprising plans, suggesting that Aang triggered the Avatar state to defeat the Fire Lord. Meanwhile, Zuko's sister, Princess Azula, claims that the Fire Lord will pardon both him and Iroh if they return home with her.
Oh, I love that the B plot, like where you're introduced to Azula,
Yeah,
and she is just absolutely awesome. I
just
think,
a hair out of place.
yeah, I just love that. Like they introduce her as like the most precise, deadly person. I think that's super cool.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
and the waves monologue too. Well, the
the
waves think twice about throwing you over the
Oh
ship.
yes, like her dialogue is perfect. I love that. I also love the scene with I think Zuko and Iroh are both in that one, and they're like Zuko makes Iroh tea. Is that the episode where he makes tea, or maybe that's way later?
That's way later.
Okay, it's way later. But I like the part where he's like, "No, she's deadly, and she's crazy, and she needs to go down," or
Yeah,
something like that. Um,
yeah,
you get a very
uh,
good intro to Azula.
yeah. And I also think like the really cool scene where Roku picks up Aang the Avatar state and says, "Hey, you
Hmm.
can't be doing this willy nilly.
Yeah.
Uh, there's uh, there's a risk you're taking here." And then we get that big scene with all the avatars disappearing, which is used in every
Hmm.
ATLA like advertisement ever.
Yeah, I would say just just based on what we've talked about, I'm kind of thinking it's like a B-ish episode.
Yeah, I agree.
I think where are we thinking in B tier? I guess
Uh,
'cause this episode's
I
pretty
think
darn good. Like,
yeah, I think it's better than the Deserter.
yes, I think I might like it more than the Southern Air Temple, but
I agree. Yeah.
yeah, it,
No,
it, it gives Avatar Roku vibes. It's kind of the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm content with it there. Cool.
All right.
Cave of Two Lovers. This is like another one of those kind of like quote unquote filler episodes, but it's also super iconic.
Yeah. The B plot, by the way, is Zuko and Iroh get sheltered by kind people after Iroh accidentally drinks the tea from a poisonous plant.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Yeah.
and then Song, a young, compassionate healer, shows Zuko the effects of war from a normal citizen's perspective.
I do really like that. I love how like the look on Zuko's face after she shows him
Hmm.
her scar. Because obviously Zuko would have sympathy for that. Um, I think it's really neat. I hate that Zuko just takes the ostrich horse at the end, though. Like what? Um,
I mean, yeah, but it's just that part of that super long and drawn out character plot of
yeah,
Zuko that we love.
that's true. That's true. Um,
Overall, it's an iconic episode, but it really doesn't do much.
it doesn't, but I mean, this. I don't know. I mean, if I'm just rating it on like how much I enjoy watching it, I, I honestly, I gotta put it at least in B tier.
I agree. I think it's lower on the B tier. I'll trust your judgment there.
I'm thinking
But
it's got kind of the same vibes as King of Omashu. I think.
it does. Yeah, exactly. It's a very silly easy but a
Hmm.
very easy to watch one.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. Epic saying that Zuko alone would not have happened without that ostrich horse. I
True.
guess.
And on to the
the
great Earth Kingdom city of
Oh
oh
no.
no.
Yeah, the return to Omashu, where you get introduced to May and Ty Lee. Anything
Oh yeah.
else?
Is this the episode where she recruits them too?
Yeah, this is like the whole recruitment episode. Yeah,
Ooh, okay.
and you
Uh,
also get to see chi blocking for the first time, which is really cool.
oh, that's cool. And you get the Boomy telling him about
Yeah, the neutral
neutral.
Jing, kind of giving the foreshadowing about Toph.
Yeah. Get Tom Tom
Eh,
and the uh, rebellion too.
Oh yeah, and the Pentapox.
The Pentapox, yeah.
I mean, a lot of the episode did kind of feel like filler. I mean, I think like the highlights are meeting May and Ty Lee in that fight at the end where they rescue Boomy, obviously. Um,
Is it too cruel to say C tier for this episode?
no, no, not at all. I am kind of feeling C tier actually.
Which I feel like it should stick with me more, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it really just doesn't. It's kind of just. I mean, really, the point of the episode is just to give you that foreshadowing about Toph and gives you a reason. It gives Aang a reason to not learn Earthbending from Boomy.
That's right.
So that's kind of like the whole idea, I guess. And then, of course, it introduces May and Ty Lee, which is important to the rest of the plot. But um, so I'm kind of thinking like Blue Spirity, maybe in front of Blue Spirit,
I think below.
below. Okay, I can get down with that. All right, next we got the Swamp.
Very. I'm gonna go ahead and say very similar vibes to the Cave of Two Lovers.
You're very right about that. Very right about that. Is it B tier though? Like you think it was right around there?
Um, I don't know. The B plot, which I'm trying to having a hard time remember, is elsewhere. Zuko and Iroh seek money from local villagers.
Um,
So is that when Zuko becomes a blue spirit again and steals from?
yeah, yeah. I think they kind of go their separate ways after this episode. Or
Um,
I could be wrong.
that's the
Um,
next episode.
is okay. Well, anyhow, I mean, I think obviously we remember the A plot for this episode more. That's probably the majority of what it is.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I think it's a really cool episode. I like that you get like the Katara mom flashback, sort of not flashback, but you know what I mean. Like you get that sentiment, and then you also get Yue, and you get Toph, like a Toph foreshadowing, which isn't really that cool because you don't know what's going on like when you're at that point in the show. But um,
Yeah, we get the first experience of plant bending too.
oh, that's true. Swamp monster. That's sweet.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
mean,
agree. Have it.
yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good right there. I mean, I kind of might like it. I think I like it more than the King of Amashu, actually.
I agree.
What about Deserter? Is it better than that?
Okay, I think this is the first audible. I think we need to move down Southern Air Temple a little bit.
I kind of agree. I think
I,
it needs to go. It needs to go back down with like these two. I think.
you can't use you have to
Oh,
specify.
my
Right.
bad. In front of Avatar Returns. In front of the first two.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. All
Okay.
right.
Cool. Cool.
Shall I move on?
Yeah. Uh, let's go to Avatar Day. Um, so let's see. Avatar Day. Um,
They go to the city of Chin after learning that there's an Avatar Day celebration. Learn that it's hatred of the Avatar for Kyoshi killing their fearless leader Chin the Conqueror, where Aang gets locked up, and even though he could escape, they want to prove his innocence and show the people that the Avatar is a good person. They Kasaka and Katara their little investigation to Kyoshi Island. Uh, then they come back. They have a trial. Aang's found guilty, even though there's a really cool scene with Kyoshi admitting to killing Chin, even though he was a ruthless tyrant. Then we get the Rough Rhinos making an appearance at the very end. Aang saves the town, and they now celebrate Avatar Day as a celebration of the Avatar.
okay. I think generally the consensus on this episode is that it's not really that great. Um, and I agree heavily. Um, I mean, I think the only really cool part is you get like the backstory about Kyoshi. But honestly, like the whole rest of it just seems kind of crazy. um,
Yeah, I was gonna argue C tier, but I think it belongs in D.
I think so too. I honestly, I think I gotta put it maybe like right below. I don't know. I don't like it. I mean, I really don't. Like, I'm thinking maybe before Jet or before Waterbending Scroll.
Uh, Go before Jet. I like the episode.
All
I think
right,
the Kyoshi scene's cool.
that's true. So I just got a text and it is kind of urgent, so I can come back after a break. If that's good with you.
Works for me.
All
Send me a
right,
ping. Okay.
cool.
All right. The Blind Bandit. Our
Blind
first
Bandit.
introduction to Toph, the Earth King city of Gaoling. Earth Rumble 6.
I think this episode feels way longer than it is. Like, so much happens in this episode. Like, there's like this whole sequence of like Aang trying to find an Earthbending teacher, and then like the whole Earth Rumble 6 thing, and the boulder, and you get to see the Hippo and Fire Nation Man who gets me weak. Um, and yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to it.
Yeah, what happens? What's his name?
You, Master You.
Master Yu, yeah, it's Earthbending Academy and all that. Dinner with the Beifongs, yeah. There's a lot packed in here. Obviously, great character introduction. We get a good sense of who Toph is and her ability as an Earthbender. By Nation Man, boo in the comments.
See, I kind of have like the same vibe as like the King of Omashu, where it's like it's a really good episode and you're meeting new characters and it's cool, but at the same time, it's like I don't know, like it's not like the highlight. Like Toph's awesome, but
Right,
I don't know. I mean, maybe a little better than that, like because we got the Waterbending Master up here, so
right.
like it could easily be in B tier. Um,
Yeah, I'm solid B tier episode, I'd say. And I think everyone enjoys watching Earth Rumble 6 and all the different Earthbenders that they put up against Toph.
yeah. Um, I'm kind of thinking. Um, Is it better than the Southern Air Temple? I'm gonna say
I,
yeah.
I think we're looking at the exact same spot, right behind Cave of Two Lovers.
Yeah.
Not quite the same entertainment value, but still a solid
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah. All right. All right. Zuko alone, a fan favorite. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, there's no B plot, right? It's just Zuko, right? The whole
Yep.
thing.
Well, I guess
Um,
you count one plot as being him in the desert city, and then him in the flashbacks.
right. The flashbacks. All the flashback episodes are just bomb. I'm pretty sure Zuko alone. I mean, I think it's better than the Storm even.
I agree. I think we get a lot more depth on Zuko there.
Uh,
We can see why he is the way he is, as well as Azula too. Half of it.
Right, right. You get a lot of Azula, and you even get Baby May and Ty Lee just for
Yeah,
kicks, and of course Zuko's mom, who you don't get any of prior to that episode. I'm pretty sure.
yeah. And we
Uh,
get another sick battle between Zuko with the dual swords and the Earth Kingdom jerk with the hammers.
Oh yeah, that was so cool when he started firebending and he's like, "I am Zuko." I love that. It's
You learn so much about him, and this is where I feel like a lot of people hop on the Zuko redemption arc
mm-hmm.
because like we already knew that he had a traumatic backstory, but this kind of like cements like, oh, he's capable of good. He is truly good in him and good intentions, and as everything always does, hits him in the face.
Yeah. So I do think it deserves to be A, but I mean I might be leaning towards S, but I mean we can always
See,
come back to that, but what do you
um,
think?
yeah, I like where it's at right now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
good choice. We can always come back to it.
The chase. I really like this episode. I do think the first half of it's a little bit of a drag
Right.
because it is kind of annoying just watching them fly from one place to the next. I would say it's great because you get to see all the characters, and everybody kind of hates Azula, so they all gang up on her at the end. It's cool to see Iroh and Toph have that kind of random meetup. And then
Oh,
it's
that's right.
yeah, and you get a little battle between May and Ty Lee and Toph and Katara as well. Um, or not Toph, sorry, Sokka and Katara and May and Ty Lee. They kind of have a
Yeah.
little bit of a altercation, but it's
Yeah,
kind of neat.
I've been rewatching Avatar with a few of my friends, and we're in like the middle of season 2 right now. And there's so many episodes that you think kind of filler at first glance, but they really add a lot to the story. I think this is one of them,
Yeah, I do.
especially at that ending, because we kind of get that little scare that Iroh's horribly hurt from
Oh
Azula.
right, right. And Zuko's like, "Get away from us," you know. I love that part, like, cause Katara even offers to help him,
Right.
which is really crazy. Um,
Has Katara had any interactions with Iroh prior to this episode? I
um,
guess Northern Water Tribe. That's about it.
yeah, Northern Water Tribe, pretty much. Um, I mean, obviously she's familiar with him, but
Sure, sure.
yeah. But even still, the fact that she'd offer to help Zuko in any way is kind of neat. Um,
Yeah. Right now I'm thinking better than the King of Amashu.
yes, I agree. I like it more than the Deserter
I do
and
too.
and the Avatar State. Shoot, we have this really high up. Should this be here? I guess that's okay, but
Should what be there?
the Avatar State. I guess that is a good episode because of the B plot. B plot really helps it. Um,
Yeah.
um,
I think it's better than the Avatar State though.
I think it's top of A. I think it's better than
Top
um,
of A or top of B?
top of B.
Okay.
I think it's better than Avatar Roku. It's just a really powerful
Ooh,
episode.
the chase?
I think so. I mean
No,
that you can't beat
I
that
think the
ending
first
battle
half
though.
it's great, but that first
You are
half
right.
really drags.
Yeah,
Cringe factor.
yeah. All right. Bitter work. We already have somebody saying that bitter work is S tier.
This is another the one I was thinking of before, where I didn't think it was much. I think it was just angling earthbending, but the B plot does so much for this episode.
Wait, what's the B plot?
So Iroh's injured. This is where you get the scene where he makes the tea and Iroh tries it and it goes and it's like throws out the window. It goes. It's very
Oh yeah.
racing.
Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. That's what I love that, and I love like Iroh giving Zuko the Avatar wisdom and stuff, and trying to learn lightning.
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
Um, A plot. It's nothing crazy. It's a lot of fun though.
yeah. Um, I it's got to be at least a B tier episode, I guess. I think.
Yeah, I think a weak A plot kind of takes away from A tier, so I think it has to be B.
Yeah. Um, I don't like it as much as the chase. I don't know if I like it as much as the deserter even. Maybe I do. I think maybe right about here. Does this look okay?
I like it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm cool with that. Um, the library.
A lot happens in this episode.
A lot happens in this episode. I just think it's such a brilliant idea. Like everything like you get introduced to basically the entirety of the desert. And not to mention this amazing spirit library with Wan Chi Tong, who's like the coolest spirit dude in the entire show. Um, Professor
That's really a
Zay is
slap in the face to Ko.
he's so much better. Look, it's a slap in the faces to Ko.
Ah,
Uh, but
comments better be all over that one.
but I don't know. I think the library is such a cool episode. It's climactic. It ends on this like awful note, but it's still impactful. Um,
Yeah, we get the upcoming solar eclipse. That's
right.
their last hope, basically. We learn about Zhao in the library and destroying so much.
Mm-hmm.
Professor Zay, obviously a cool side character, and we get Missy Palm's voices as well.
Yeah, Misty
Um,
Palms is so cool, and let's not forget like the introduction to the White Lotus,
oh, that's
because
right.
yeah,
That's a great B plot.
yeah, it's a really good B plot. I like how Jinfu, I think it's Jinfu and Master Yu are both looking for Toph, and they don't want to start trouble.
Hmm.
Um, but then of course like Zuko and Iroh manage to create a diversion. They get to the secret flower room or whatever, then they sneak out. I just thought all that was great. It's a really nice subtle B plot to a really really impactful A plot.
So I just realized this. So there's 20 episodes in Cross 2, and sorry, in 20 episodes in Book 2.
Hmm.
And when I was watching it with my friends, I realized that the Serpent Pass and the Drill are part 1 and part 2, so that means it was the mid-season finale. But in my
Oh,
mind, it really ought to be the library in the desert, or at least
honestly,
just the
yeah.
library. I think it has a much bigger punch than the other 2 episodes, and I would consider this for S tier. It's just a very complete Avatar episode with a solid A and B plot, adding to the lore while also not being too heavy for the younger crowd.
That was a really hot take, but I kind of agree with you.
I didn't think I was gonna say that coming into this.
I didn't think that either. I mean, it's definitely high A. I do think it's probably an S tier episode. It's so good. But it makes me question Zuko Alone's placement, though. Um,
Do you think Zuko alone is better than?
no, I don't. Um, but I could easily see it being here. Let's leave it where we had it for now.
Oh, Zuko alone.
Yeah, I thought about Zuko Alone being right behind the library, but um,
Again, I can't see live time
yeah, I
with it,
keep I
but
keep forgetting. But yeah,
I definitely agree. There's an argument there.
I will leave it where we had it. And if we need to come back, we will. But all right, the desert. I think the desert is pretty boring overall. I mean, honestly, I mean, like there is a
No,
lot
I
to it.
agree.
I don't hate it. Um, but like I'm already thinking like C tier ish.
Yeah, it continues the plot, and I'm glad they don't like just get out of the desert
Hmm.
super easily. They kind of do. Uh, but yeah, I think C tier's the right place for it.
Um, yeah, where in C tier? What's the B plot? Is that just Zuko and Iroh going like? Are they even in there very much?
Oh, wait, hold up. Apparently that's the B plot of this episode.
Yeah, but what do they do?
A secret society helps protect Iroh and Zuko from the Fire Nation and bounty hunters.
Oh, so that was okay.
Is there no B plot
So
in
what's the
the
B plot in the
library?
library? Yeah,
Uh, Let
that's
me look.
it's very peculiar. That might change things.
It does. Looking at the transcript now. None. There's no B plot in the
No
library.
B plot. Shoot, that
Ooh,
changes things. Okay,
it does.
well, desert is still C tier, I think, but upper C tier.
Yeah,
Let's
that
place
helps a
that.
lot.
So I think we can safely say it's at the top of the C tier. But the
Yeah,
library can't be S tier if it doesn't have a B plot.
no, I agree.
Let's just put it right behind Zuko alone.
Okay,
I
I
think
like it.
that's good. All right. Next we got the Serpent's Pass.
Again, B plot doing a lot to carry this episode.
What is the B plot in the Servant's Pass?
It's so I mean,
Oh,
obviously you have the
oh,
main
it's
group and Suki.
they're on the ferry.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I didn't think that was a whole lot. I mean, you get reintroduced to Jet and like
that's really cool.
Smellerby and Longshot, but I always thought that plot was kind of boring. I mean, it was cool that they came back, but really you're focused on the gangs like trek across the Serpent's Pass, which takes a fat minute to even get started, by the way.
Right,
So that's kind of lame. I like the kind of Sokka Suki dynamic going on in that episode. Yeah.
right.
Oh, Soap Suds literally just said that. What? That's cool. But yeah, I agree. The dynamic between Suki and Sokka is very cool. Um, I think it's weird that Suki's just like, see ya, as soon as they get across.
Oh, sorry. Going back a second though, Polar said the B plot in the library episode is Toph chilling with Appa, which now he mentions that he or she mentions that.
Oh,
That's a good point.
yeah, I suppose. Just chilling outside.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the Serpent's Pass though. Yeah, definitely cool to see Suki again and Jet as well. It's
Hmm.
nice getting like characters you thought were gone to revisit.
Hmm. Um,
Um, yeah, I think it takes a while. I enjoy the Sakasuki and then the UA like scene where they're about to kiss, but then he sees the moon
yeah,
and backs off.
I don't like. I just can't. I get it, but I just Aang being all aloof this entire episode makes me very annoyed. Like,
What's his deal this episode?
remember
Oh, it's
he's
about
like
Appa.
depressed about Appa, but it's just like by the end of the episode he's fine. But during that episode he's just super like down in the dump. Like he's just very depressing.
It's a hope episode, so I think it has to
Yeah,
be kind of close to. I think it's above imprisoned or imprisonment, but
the imprisonment. Yeah, it's above the spirit world. That's for sure. Um, I think it gives Blue Spirit vibes, sorta. It's very action
I think
packed. Takes a while to get started.
yeah, I think the Blue Spirit is better though.
I kind of
But yeah,
agree. Yeah, I think this is good. Right here in the middle. All right.
okay.
The drill. I really like this episode. I just think this is a cool. I just love how it's basically a constant battle. Like the whole episode is action. I don't know if you agree, but that's how I feel about it.
No, I agree. It is all totally action. You get the cool scene where Jet figures out that Iroh is a firebender and
Oh
starts to freak
yeah.
out. Yeah, no, I think the A plot's obviously the biggest thing here. I think it's a cool episode. I know you're big Azula stan, so that
That's
helps
true.
out. Uh, I'm sorry, I just can't get over that. It's they're attacking the Fire Nation with a giant drill. Like, and also second to that, when they do drill through the wall, what's their next plan? Like, they don't have an army in the drill. There's
That's
no
a
other
good
army
point.
around them.
That is a really good point. I mean, I think they had a bunch of tundra tanks along the sides of the drill, if you recall.
I mean, I'm looking at a picture of it right now, and there's maybe eight,
10.
nine on each
Yeah,
side.
yeah, that's not
Not that
enough.
much.
It's not enough. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, don't they actually break through the wall though?
They get through, but they don't get through enough to like come out
Right.
of the drill.
Yeah.
Um it's a good point. It's lacking the realism, but
Uh,
I don't know. I'm not
and
I don't
sorry,
want
the slashing the beams too, were like, oh, if we just do a quarter of the beam in
yeah.
one big hit. No, I think the biggest hit to that drill was when Toph was clogging it up in the back, or Katara,
Honestly,
and then
yeah,
Toph joined in or something.
yes. Yeah, it was Toph and then Katara joined in. I will tell you what though, I love seeing Ty Lee stuck up in the drill. I loved that. Like they got revenge on her and they called her a circus freak or something. Um,
Yeah, La Femme just exits the battle because she doesn't
yeah.
want to jump down.
She's like, no.
And the scene where Azula like has Aang pinned against the wall, and he
Oh
makes a
yeah,
fist of earth around his arm and blocks it.
yeah, dude. A lot of cool things happened action wise in this episode. Um, I don't like how incompetent the Earth Kingdom general is. Like he's
Yeah,
just kind of like throw rocks down there. Like come on, like he's got to be more intimidating than that, right?
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so there are some kind of plot holes in there, but as far as like the action itself, it's really cool. Um, I don't know. I really like this episode. I don't want to put it in C tier.
No, I don't think it's a C tier episode.
No, I think it's. I don't know. I mean, was it that it's kind of like the chase, I guess.
Yeah, I was just looking at that because I think
Yeah,
I like it more than the chase.
I think so too. I do like it more because it's not slow. It's like the whole thing's action. Um,
Yeah.
I think that's good. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Now we've got the City of Walls and Secrets. It's really nice. It's a good episode.
Yeah. I need to refresh myself personally, so
Yeah,
I'll
I mean
refresh the viewers.
it's mostly the Judy tour. Um, like it's them being toured around by Judy. You know, well they get in and they see the city for the first time. Obviously, Toph doesn't
Hmm.
like it. Judy brings them around, shows them all the rings. They get their house in the upper ring, and they don't get to see the Earth King, but they do find their way into that Earth Kingdom party. Um, you know, and Toph and
Yeah.
Katara get in, but then Long Feng kind of intercepts them, and then at the end of the episode, he kind of reveals the secret of the Dai Li and stuff. You're introduced to the Dai Li in this episode as well.
Yeah. I'm pulling up the transcript. Yeah. Let's see. Trying to find the Zuko and Sokka plot. Yeah, they start looking for Appa as well. To no look.
Oh yeah, yeah. Um.
This is when Jet kind of starts spying on them, where
Oh
Iroh can't find
yeah,
the Spark Rocks.
yeah. I do kind of like that. A nice little subplot. They're getting established in the city. Um.
Let's see. Okay, and this episode ends the B plot with Jet fighting them in the tea shop
Ooh,
and him
ooh.
getting dragged out by the Dai.
I liked that. That was cool. I'm
That
glad
was
that
cool.
all happened in this episode. Um. Hmm.
This is where we see a real turn of the tide for Avatar. I feel like there's no more true filler episodes after this.
Yeah, yeah. That I agree. Well, I wouldn't 100% agree with that, but sorta, yeah.
Okay.
Um. But yeah, the City of Walls and Secrets. I think. I mean, is it better than the Drill?
No.
No. Um.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one. It's
Is it
kind of boring, honestly. It's just like novel, like it's new stuff. You know, you're introduced to this whole
right?
city and Long Feng and the Dai Li and Judy. There's a lot that you're getting introduced to, but it's really not
Um.
that great of an episode
So,
otherwise.
so what you're telling me is it's either end of B or top of C. So very similar to the Avatar Returns or the Boy in the Ice Fight.
Yes. See, I can't like these episodes just aren't that great. I mean, they're good. I see it almost similar to the Blind Bandit. Um,
Okay. No, I can see that. I think Blind Bandit's a little more
yeah,
entertaining.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
chat's agreeing. Mid B.
yeah, I think this is good. This is good. All right. Um, Tales of Ba Sing Se. Um, this is like a very entertaining episode.
See, some plots are better than others, though.
That's true. That's true. I think Momo's whole plot is actually really, really boring. I get that the idea is that he finds like Appa's footprint, but other than that, it's like the rest of like you're kind of just waiting for Momo's like thing to end.
Right.
Um, I like Toph and Katara's a lot. Sokka's is funny and pretty short. Aang's is a little boring. I don't know why. It's just not. I don't know.
I like Zuko's, but it's the same plot as when he
Oh,
meets Song and
very true. Yeah, it doesn't feel very special. I mean, it's neat that he lights all the lamps, but
that's true.
also it makes me mad that that girl's so stupid that she didn't realize he was a firebender or at least question it.
I think she did.
Oh, maybe she did. Yeah, you're right. I guess she could have. She just didn't care. But dang. Um. Either way, it's like everybody loves this episode because of Iroh's, obviously, and we do too. But I don't know. I mean, it is really entertaining though. Like the fact that different people wrote each one of those like little subplots makes it very A lot of
That's
work
true.
went into this episode.
I think it's around the swamp in B tier.
Oh, really? I was thinking A tier. I was
I could
think
be I could be talking to end of A.
really. Hmm. Um.
To Soap says in the comments, if all the citizens are taught that there is no war, why would they care about firebenders? I think it's
They
she
know.
mentions
They know there's a war. They're not allowed to talk about it.
and so the bottom ring too is mostly refugees who got displaced by the war, so they're
Good.
very well aware of it.
Good point. Yeah. Even the Pong in the upper ring, he knows that there's a war. He just says don't talk about it.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Um, and not to mention in the novels, not the novels, the graphic comics as well after the show, they kind of address some of the cities that were in the middle of the war between the Fire Nation and the Earth Kingdom, and even though they had citizens of both Fire and Earth, I think we kind of see that a little bit with what's her name, Zuko's state.
um. I don't remember.
Well, anyway,
Yeah.
she I think she kind of resembles what they're trying to go for in that episode, in that she acknowledges that there's a war. There's going to be firebenders and earthbenders who are bad people regardless of what side you're on, and she
Yeah.
sees that Zuko's a good guy.
Yep. All right. Well, as far as Tales of Bossing say, I guess I'll push you as high as I probably can because I do think I'd rather watch Tales of Bossing say than pretty much anything in B tier. Um,
Ooh, that's true.
and I mean, honestly, well, I think I might even put it above the Siege of the North Part One, but not the Storm though.
I agree.
I think that's solid. All right.
Comments are rioting.
Yeah. I know that Tales of Bossing Say is often put in S tier, but I think people just do that blindly because of the Iroh subplot, which is amazing, but is still just a little fraction of the episode.
You really don't learn anything new in Iroh's.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
too. Like the only thing you get is like more sentiment about his son that you kind of already knew about by that point. Um,
And once again, we love this episode, and that is a fantastic tale.
yeah,
But in terms of the overall show, it
yeah.
doesn't pack quite the same punch.
Yeah, because really, when you watch that episode, you're just waiting for Iroh's tail. And then once Iroh's tail is over, you're kind of just like waiting for it to be done.
You're too
Um,
busy mopping up your tears to pay attention to the rest.
right. Well, especially Momo's tail, which is really just like boring and kind of filler.
Yeah.
But in Aang's tail, there's like no development there. But like in Sokka's is kind of just funny as you can expect. But you also kind of get that Riz aspect from Sokka. And then I really like Toph and Katara's. Especially because Toph, like you just get that you don't get a whole lot of emotion out of Toph except for in that little bit.
Oh, that's actually, I thought, yeah, I think we're all kind of the same page. Polar brings up a good point of the if only I could have helped you part is pretty cool because he spends the whole episode helping other people.
Yeah, I think that's the point. I think that's like what they're going for with that because he's like the way he says it. He's like, if only I could have helped you, just like how he'd helped everybody else that day. I love that. But that's why it earned its spot in A tier. If it wasn't for Iroh's tail, there's no way this would even be in A tier. It would be
Yeah.
probably mid B tier or something. Uh, anyway, Appa's Lost Days. Some people might fight me over this, but I really never did like this episode.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I think a part of it was just that I hated seeing Appa just constantly going through like pain. Like it was just kind of hard to watch.
It's like
Um,
they tried to fit his entire character arc into one episode. Yeah,
yeah,
I love
yeah,
this episode personally, but I can see where you're coming from.
yeah. It's just kind of one of them things where it's like I just wanted him to find Aang. Like I just wanted it to be over because it was just constant. It was like one thing after another. Like I mean, don't get me wrong, it was entertaining. It was fun to watch, but at the same time, it was like, please, Appa, just find Aang. Like I didn't really start enjoying the episode until Suki and them found him.
Yeah, well, actually, I like who was it? Soap's comment. It adds more humanity to Appa. Yeah, this is really the first time we see him like
like show emotion and stuff.
struggle.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we got see him get taken out by the sheer shoe in book one, but I mean that's lasts all of 2 minutes even.
right.
And this one, I mean, even when he gets captured by the sandbenders, he's able to like knock out some of their
Uh huh.
sand sleds or sand
Sand
sailors.
sailors. Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, it's a tough episode to watch. I'll give you that, but I think it's a great episode.
For me, it. I mean, for me personally, I would put it somewhere in C tier with like Blue Spirit or something.
Oh,
But I mean, chat can fight me on that, or you can. But I mean, I think that's kind of fair though. Like, I don't think it's that much better than the desert, if at all.
oh, I think it's better than the desert. I'm looking around City of Walls and Secrets.
Hmm.
I'm with Soaps in the comments. I think high B tier, but I can work with I can work with low B.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking like I don't know. Um, Opus Lost Days. I
Below
mean,
Southern Air Temple.
yeah, yeah, I think so. I think that's good.
Also, Fezzi's on your side. He says high C tier.
Yeah, I think this is okay. I think it's slightly better than the introductory episodes. I think that's all right. Cool. Lake Lao guy.
All right. The gang continues looking for Appa with Long Fang, trying to throw them off by sending Jet to make them leave the city. They meet up with Longshot and Smeller, being realized Jet was brainwashed. Elsewhere, Zuko discovers that Aang is in the city and begins his own search for Appa.
Oh, so this is the episode. Is this the episode where Zuko frees Appa? I guess it is.
Yes, it
Right.
is.
And this is also the episode that ends with Jet, quote unquote, dying.
Yeah,
Um, and
I think
Longshot speaks, which is awesome. Oh yeah,
he's our
it definitely is this episode because the Earth King episode starts like they have Appa by that time.
right.
But yeah, this episode is very action packed, very entertaining. You get the whole bit where Toph can sense whether people are lying or not, which I think is very cool.
What's has Azula done anything in this episode yet?
No, I don't think so because she doesn't show up until the end of the Earth King, I think.
That's the
Um,
Kyoshi
yeah, where
Warriors.
the Kyoshi Warriors show up.
Okay,
It's really Azula.
gotcha.
Yeah. But I like this episode a lot. Lake Lao guy's freaky as heck. Uh, and I also like that Appa like attacks Long Feng and skips him across the water at the end.
Yeah, that is
Like
funny.
Appa's return is so good in this episode. And not to mention the whole bit with Iroh yelling at Zuko down in Lake Lao Kai.
Oh yeah.
He's like, "Yeah,
Well,
you've got to do what you want." You know, that thing.
I have two main issues with this episode. One is we don't actually get to see Zuko like decide to let Appa go.
Yeah.
I feel like we could have like there's just kind of like a line or two from Zuko there that could just kind of give us a little hint what's going on in his mind. But maybe they're saying at Crossroads of Destiny, so
Mhm.
maybe that's just me. Um, Secondly, I just don't like how Long Fang takes out Jet so easily. Doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can see it. I don't think Jet's very used to fighting Earthbenders. Not to mention, Longfeng isn't incompetent
Fair point.
either. Like Longfeng's a good. He's probably better than most Dai Li agents.
That's true.
Like, and we
Also,
don't see him Earthbend very much, but when he needs to, he's powerful.
also the brainwashing is annoying. Like the way they all just like surround him in a circle and they realize he's
That
brainwashed.
was that was secondhand embarrassment. I was like, what
Right.
is going on? I that part was so weird.
Um, so I'd put it somewhere close to the drill, personally. It's
I
fine.
I agree. It's a really good episode. It's very entertaining. I think I like it a little more than the drill just because it's more dramatic. Um,
Yeah, I think I like it more than the drill as well.
yeah, just because there's so much like there's powerful plot points in here. You know, Zuko kind of making the right choice, and then Long Feng getting yeeted, and Appa returning. Like those are big things, and Jet dying. Shoot, just completely
Yeah,
forgot about that. But
we
yeah,
think. We think.
yeah. Supposedly. Um, and personally, every time I put one up here in the top of B tier, I get upset that this isn't still here. Do
What was
we?
that?
I every time we put one at the top of B tier, I get upset that Avatar Roku is still at the top of B tier. I just never saw that episode that great. Like,
I liked it a lot though.
I mean, it is a good episode, but I don't know. It's a season one episode. It just doesn't have the feels or something. Um,
That's true. You're not as emotionally invested in this.
right. Like if I had to move it, I would probably move it like right before the chase. I think I like the chase more than Avatar Roku. Um, but I
Trying,
mean, that's your call. If you want to move it behind either of these two next to it,
I
I
think it's I think it's ahead of the chase, but you can move the other two in front of it.
okay. Because I think I'd much rather watch the Drill Lake Lao guy than Avatar Roku. Those are good episodes.
I also think it's time to move Zuko Low into S tier.
I agree. It's a really solid episode. Uh, the Earth King. My first impression of this episode is that I absolutely love it because they've got Appa back. And they just like storm in. They just annihilate. Now I don't like how unrealistic it is that they're just kind of annihilating every single like Earth Kingdom guard, but it's so
Uh,
much fun to watch.
no, I think it makes sense. I mean, one, they are rage filled, having to deal with Judy
True.
and not having Appa. They can finally kick some butt, get or do what they've been wanting to do since the library. And plus, those palace guards, they've never faced any combat.
That is very true now I think about it. They're all just for
Uh,
show.
yeah, they're not even Dai Li either.
True. True. Um that yeah, that makes a good point. So that's actually pretty realistic. And I just love it when they get to the Earth King and they go through the whole bit where they prove to the Earth King that the war is real and that Long Feng was bitten by Appa. Long Feng gets put in prison. I mean, the whole thing is like it's like the victory episode you've been waiting for because the past 5 episodes have been them just trying to get to the dang Earth King, and then they get there.
Right. Yeah, in the comments as well. This is the episode where Zuko becomes sick from.
Oh, right, right. This is a really good episode. It's got to be at least A tier, right?
Uh, yeah, I think so. At the very end too, you get a sense for the season finale where they give out the letters to everyone.
Right. I mean, I think I would be comfortable putting this above the Storm because it's better than
Ooh,
Tales of Ba Sing Se, I would say.
definitely true.
And I think it's
Huh?
just you're so much more invested in it than you were when you watched The Storm.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Yeah.
Um, is it better than the library? Because I could
Ooh,
easily see it being better than the library. Because honestly, I just
I
love
think
it. I don't know.
I think it might. Like this episode is just such a feel good episode. Everything
It,
I'm hesitant to say, but I think everything works out in their favor this episode, and then
except
you just
for
get
the end.
absolutely smashed.
Yes, maybe that's what they were going for. Like
What happens? What even happens at the end of this episode? Because I
at
don't
the
think it
end,
is what you think it is.
well, no, at the very end of the episode, I think they all split apart to do their own things. Because Aang flies to the Guru, Sokka gets dropped off at the Water
Oh, this is
Tribe.
when you see Azula and them
Yeah, and then they
turn.
show
Okay,
up, and Katara or Toph goes to see her mom, quote unquote, in the city.
that's next episode.
Is it? Well, no.
Yeah,
I'm not saying she did. I'm just saying she's going to. Like,
yeah,
but basically the point is no one's around when the Kyoshi warriors, quote unquote, show up.
right. Oh,
Um,
and Sokka just said, "Oh,
yeah,
oh, on
that's
their way
Suki.
out." That's
Yeah,
what. Yeah,
yeah.
she's a
Like,
friend.
yeah, and then it ends with Azula saying, "We are the Earth King's humble servants," or whatever.
Oh,
It's so
okay.
good. It's a powerful
I'm
episode.
sold.
Um,
I move it above. I think it's top of A tier.
I can see that. I can see that. I wouldn't even be opposed to putting it in S tier, but let's just leave it here for now.
Yeah, because I think we're about to hit two heaters.
Oh yeah, the
Eh,
Guru.
all
Um,
right.
yeah, the
So I mean,
Guru. What?
Aang's at the Eastern Air Temple,
Yeah, we
learning
know
martial
Aang's
arts.
whole thing. We know Aang's entire thing pretty much, right? Like,
Katara stays uh, at the palace to help plan the invasion. Sokka is reunited with his father. Toph teaches herself metal bending with
oh,
Shinfu and Master Yu
yes.
as he's transporting her, or as they're transporting her. Um, and then she sees Zuko and Iroh when she goes to visit their tea shop that she hears is so good.
Oh,
And then she tells the Kyoshi, or she tells the Earth King, Kyoshi warriors overhear it, invite Zuko, and then we get the whole Crossroads of Destiny episode.
dude, this is like where everything just falls apart. Like
And you
everything
also get
goes
the
wrong.
weird Zuko in this episode, right?
That was
Good
the
mood
previous
Zuko.
episode, I thought.
Was it? Okay. I know he's sick last episode, but I think this is like the
Oh,
kind of
you're. I
continuation of
think
that.
you're right. I think you're right. I think he's actually feeling good in this episode. And he's like working. He's happy, and he's working in the tea shop with Iroh. That's when
Right.
Katara comes in. Yeah. So I think you're right. Um, but I don't know. I mean, Aang's whole thing with the chakras is actually kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like it's. I mean, yeah, it's like a cool thing, but it still kind of feels like filler for the episode.
It's a lot of flashback. Yeah.
Yes, and it's not really stuff you didn't already know, either. Um, like you know he likes Katara. You know he's mourning the death of the air nomads. You know, um,
He doesn't want to fire Ben.
yeah, he doesn't want to fire, but like you know all this stuff. It's kind of just like filling you, like refreshing you on things that have happened. Uh,
Yeah, Fezzi, we know Talk Metal does metal bend this episode,
that's the
but I
best
mean,
part. He's not
it's
lying.
the best part. But I feel like they could have done a lot more with the plot of those two, because everyone knows that not even with those two, they could have done a lot more with the plot of the one of the richest men, the Earth Kingdom, had his daughter kidnapped by the Avatar, and he sends two guys she already beat up.
That
Like, come on.
is true. Uh, Granted, they had a great. I mean, they had her though. I mean, they did
True,
have
it's
her.
true.
Like they got her. I mean, they couldn't have expected that she learned how to metal bend, and that is what made that so cool. Because like even all of us were wondering like, how the heck's she gonna get out of this one? You know.
Yeah,
And then she does that, and it's like, yo. And then she starts doing the earth skates to get back
yeah.
to Bossing. That was so sweet. Um,
I'm trying to remember what happens when Zuko runs into his dad.
you mean Sokka?
Yeah, well, I probably have to actually him a
Um,
few times tonight.
well, they reunited and they were putting together these mines, like these seaweed mine, tangle mines or whatever they were.
Yeah.
And then I think they were about to go out, but then Aang showed up and told Sokka that they need to go.
Oh, Katara's in trouble.
Yeah, Katara's in trouble, and then he was like, "This is gonna have to wait." Um, or he said, "This can't be good," or something like that. Uh, so, I mean, it was not a feel-good episode by any means. Um, and the
I think
guru
the Guru
parts.
is hmm. A lot happens. I think it's right next to the Avatar Roku episode. A lot happens, you learn a lot, but the entertainment value is just kind of meh.
Personally, I think I'd take it over Avatar Roku just because I'm so invested. But
Right. Yeah.
yeah, um, but yeah, I don't really think it's better than the drill overall. Cool. We good?
Yeah.
All right. The Crossroads of Destiny. I'm already gonna say that as climactic and crazy as this episode is, it makes me angry. It doesn't make me feel good at all. It's like a bad ending to the season 2. Like bad in the sense that you're like crying. Like no. Um and I don't like that. I mean, it's great for the show as a whole because it's like it really makes you feel like they lost.
Yeah.
But it's like as an episode, it doesn't make me like super duper happy. Like I'm not all that excited to watch it because I know what's gonna happen.
I think it's great.
It is great. I
I think
agree that it's up there.
I thought you were about to say it was no doubt S tier. Because man, when it makes you feel something that powerful, can you name an episode that makes you more mad?
You're kind of right. You're kind of right. Shoot, is it at the top of S tier?
I think so.
Because of all the stuff with like Zuko and the K, like Zuko and Katara, and then of course, he betrays them. Azula takes over, which I do think is awesome. It's part of the reason why I like Azula so much. Um, you make a good point. As angry as that episode makes me, it really is just so like you're invested. Um,
Last few episodes of season two were just a
yeah.
absolute bloodbath on the emotions.
Well, and I love like one of my favorite lines in the whole show. And I mean, I say this, but I mean, it's the most one of the most impactful lines in the whole show, I should say. I mean, right up there with Iroh saying, "Whatever you do to that spirit, I'll unleash on you tenfold." Right up there with that is the Earth King saying, "The Earth Kingdom has fallen." I love that.
Oh,
I will be
like
right back. I'm getting a call. Give me just a
okay.
moment.
Don't worry, guys. You're gonna hate us soon because we have some more ways to gain reputation, and it's gonna suck for you guys.
All right. Let's try to rank these relatively quickly.
Yeah,
Um, hopefully within the next half hour, I guess.
works for me.
Cool. So anyway, The Awakening. Um, I don't know. What are the initial thoughts?
Let me pull up the plot, but yeah. So Aang comes back with his headband. Kind of gets an update what everything happened. He's passed.
I mean, not a lot happens. I feel like they're kind of just like on the boat. They get like Aang gets caught up. They almost get raided. The serpent randomly comes out of nowhere and destroys that other Fire Nation boat.
Oh, that's right.
And then Aang like sails away. He loses his glider at the end of the episode.
Yeah, that was kind of weird running away. He sees UA too, which is kind of odd.
Yeah, I thought the whole running away thing like that made me so mad. I thought that was stupid. Um, like I can't really say I care much for this episode. Like I'm kind of thinking it's like low C tier. Like
Yeah, the Zuko plots, it's cool because you get the first look at the Fire Nation,
mm-hmm.
but
But there's nothing really like super notable about it though.
no, I think him and May are dating now, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it's a little better than the Serpent's Pass in C
Really.
tier.
Uh, I think the Serpent's Pass is better personally, but I can get down with that. Um, I guess the beginning of Serpent's Pass is kind of slow, boring. But all right, the headband. This episode is like it's just kind of silly. It feels like a season one episode. Like there's
Yeah, B plot carries it.
what's the B
Um,
plot?
Zuko tries to confront Iroh in his prison cell. He later hires Combustion Man to kill Aang in secret.
Yeah, but it's like nothing really happens yet though. Like it's cool, but
I
it's
think this is worse than the headband.
what? This is the headband.
Sorry, worse than the Awakening.
Yes, for
Yeah, I
sure,
think
for
so
sure.
too.
I think it's got to be in D tier. There's only so many
Yeah,
episodes that even can go in this category, and this is definitely one of them.
yeah, I think it's better than the Northern Air Temple. That's it.
I disagree only because there's actual action happening in this one and like
Oh,
war
that's true.
balloons. I'm okay with it right here though, above the fortune teller.
Okay, I can do that.
All right, Painted Lady is also kind of a hotly contested one as far as like kind of filler episodes go.
I don't like it. It's probably well, one of my least favorite season three ones.
Okay, so I think it's kind of like it's right in this area. It's got to be like right around the headband, like below the headband, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I'm fine putting it like right next to the headband, honestly. Like they kind of feel the same.
Why do I want to see the? Oh, you haven't placed the headband yet on my screen. I'm not
Oh,
live. I'm not live.
uh,
Um, yeah, I'm fine with that.
all right, cool. Sokka's Master.
There we go.
I love this one. This has got to be this has to be at least high
Beast.
B, B or A, I think.
I think it's B.
Eh, Yeah, I guess you're kind of right because there's really not a whole lot of like action aside from it's just Sokka character development.
Yeah.
I think actually, I think it's very similar to like the Deserter and Bitter Work.
Ooh, yes.
I'm
Yes.
just gonna slap it right in between
Okay.
and just
I
call
dig
it a
it.
day. I think that's good.
Yeah.
All right. I think some people give the beach way too much flack, but I love the beach. I think it's a funny episode. It's like interesting because you get to see a side of these people that you never get to see.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. So B plot is actually Aang in this one for once. They're being chased by Combustion Man. Uh, that's all I really get. They're getting chased by Combustion Man. I don't remember where they
Oh,
first see him at.
oh, they're like at like a there's like a big natural water
Waterfall.
slide.
Okay.
Yeah. But then I think yeah, Combustion Man's Hawk intercepts the messenger Hawk from the Fire Nation people that see them,
Oh, that's
and then
right.
he tracks them down, and they're just kind of running away from it. It was like the first introduction, so it's very small. It's a very small part of this episode.
Okay.
Um, but
Yeah, character
like
development for the
yeah,
beach though.
the end of the beach, like when they're around the campfire, is just absolutely awesome. Um, I think
I'm
that
mad at myself.
it at least solidifies it as B tier, at least.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I would go right below Tales of Bossing. Ooh, I might go.
no, not that high. I don't think it's
Really?
better
Okay.
than like the drill and the guru.
I like it
Um,
more than the Guru.
really? Well, yeah, you're kind of right. Um, how about right here in between the drill and Lake Lao
Okay.
Guy? I think that's kind of that's nice.
Yeah.
All right, the Avatar and the Fire Lord.
Oh, this.
This one,
I'm gonna fight tooth and nail for S tier on this one.
really?
Yeah. I can compromise, but
I'm like to me, I see it. It's very similar to the Storm, which is why I want to put it right around there. Like I see it to me, it has just as much like value. The only thing that I like a lot about it is that at the end, it's like Zuko realizes that Roku is his other great grandfather. Like that's what I like. But I don't know. I think the library and the Earth King and the season one finale kind of trumped this episode.
oh, okay. I'm fine with where it's at. I can live with it. Just know if it was my own tier list, it'd be S tier.
I can
I
respect
respect
that.
the. Yeah,
Yeah.
you make a good
I
argument
just
for it.
think it's so similar to the Storm. Like if we're gonna have the Storm here, I feel like it's got to be close to it.
No, you're
Um,
right. You're right.
but it's definitely better than the Storm, though. I'll give you that. It's better.
Oh, I do not like the Runaway.
Me either. It's just a bunch of Katara tough drama, sorta.
Yep.
Um,
Katara, waterbends with her sweat.
ew. Yeah.
See ya, Fezzy.
Adios, Fez. Um, I think this could be a D tier episode.
Let's see. Oh yeah, if the headband's in D, yeah, it has to be D.
Yeah. But my thing is though, this episode's at least a little bit entertaining. Like, I'd say it's kind of
You get Combustion Man fight.
yeah. I kind of like it more than the Painted Lady. I think, but
I
not
agree.
maybe not as much as the headband.
Yeah, which
Um,
is kind of crazy to have three season.
yeah. I don't know, just kind of lacking, but whatever.
Yeah.
All right, the Puppet Master.
Okay, so obviously super cool,
Okay, it
but
do
I'm
be
just
kind
getting
of boring though. It do be kind of boring.
right. It just gives me like Nickelodeon Halloween episode vibes,
Yeah.
which that's what they're going for, and they did a good job of that. But
Okay, I don't know why. I'm getting this vibe like right after Blue Spirit, maybe right before Blue Spirit, like
I was
similar
thinking,
to
I was thinking C tier.
okay.
Yeah,
So maybe like I'm gonna put it right above the Awakening because it's at least cooler than that.
yeah.
All right. Somebody just said Puppet Master might be S tier. That was an L take. Not gonna lie. Um, sorry, so
I understand the argument for B tier just because you do get a whole new sub bending in it.
yeah,
But
it's just like the episode itself. Like 15 of the 22 minutes is kind of boring. So,
yeah.
all right, Nightmares and Daydreams. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that into hot garbage because I
Okay,
really
I
hate
was
that episode.
scared that for some reason you really liked the episode, and I
No,
don't. Okay, good.
I honestly I think I like the Great Divide more than that episode. I can't stand that episode.
Yeah, no, I think I like it more than the Great Divide,
Really?
just because you understand that Aang is super nervous, and for once he's showing like
Uh,
that he's still a kid.
okay. I'll do it just because of Katana wielding Appa. Anyway. Um. All right.
No, you only do it for standing up Appa. No, he's
Oh,
just sitting there, just kind of dopey.
yeah,
Never.
yeah, yeah. No, no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um. All right. The Day of Black Sun, Part One and Part Two. I guess we'll do them separately because we've been doing that. But
yeah.
um,
I love the invasion. It's so cool.
the invasion is awesome. I mean, I think they're both A tier episodes at least. They have to be.
Okay. Oh, I think we rank them separately, but we can discuss them together.
Yeah.
I think Day of Black Sun Part One is S tier. I think Part Two is A.
You know what? I think I agree with you actually. I would be content putting Day of Black Sun Part One right after Zuko Alone,
Let's see. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
but not better than Crossroads of Destiny. Um, and then Part Two is A tier. I'm kind of thinking like right after the library
Uh,
because it's got to be better than the library, right?
yeah, but we learn about Zuko's mother,
Mm.
and we get to see the Zuko bend lightning at his father.
Oh,
Which is
that's
so
cool.
cool.
Is that better than the season one finale?
I'd say so.
Okay. Is it better than the Earth King?
I don't think so.
Okay. I think I agree.
Because you're not as emotionally invested.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Nice. All right, that was kind of quick, but I mean,
So don't feel
they're
dumb.
solid.
You're doing great.
We appreciate your presence.
And so going back to that episode for like a fever dream, nightmares and daydreams, that's just what I go through any night. You see me deving at 4 a.m.
Uh,
Never mind. Okay.
all right. The Western Air Temple, kind of everything's like chill again. It's like rewind, like, um, but this is the "Hi, I'm Zuko" or "Hey, Zuko here" episode. Um, Combustion
That's
Man
just
attacks. They take him out, or Zuko kind of helps.
okay. That's how it ends, and they kind of accept it, or kind of
Yeah,
accept it.
yeah. I mean, I like how it ends. Like, it does end with them accepting him, but then Katara's like, you know, I'll make sure your destiny ends right then and there. But yeah, I mean, it can't be that good though. Like,
Yeah, it's definitely B at best B tier.
yeah. Uh, I want to rank it around Blue Spirit. Like, I think I like it more than Blue Spirit just because it's not so much of a drag.
Yeah, I think okay. I think we need to move the desert down.
You think?
Yeah, because I like the blue spirit more than the desert.
I think this is nice. The desert right after Puppet Master.
Sure.
I think that's solid. The desert's just kind of boring. Like I don't know. I thought we had our reasons though. Like I mean, it was cool.
Oh, we've been saying before and after backwards a lot, but okay. I see where you put it now, and I like that spot.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
after means better than. I'm saying before Blue Spirit, meaning worse than.
Interesting. Okay, I'll just try to stick back then.
Whatever.
Uh, uh, the Firebending Masters. Pretty cool episode, but I
It
think
is
that
kind of a drag.
it's a drag. The reason for going there is just kind of odd. Like, oh, we'll
Yeah,
go there in hopes of finding something.
yeah, it's kind of random. I think it has to be a C tier episode, right? It's not that good. There's not a whole lot of action.
I'm gonna go
Like it's given like
worse than
Serpent's Pass vibes. Like
yeah. That's exactly where I was gonna put it.
so,
I was actually gonna say below Return to or worse than Return to Omashu.
um, I think it's a little better than that.
Okay, I'll give
Yeah,
brownie
I'll
points
just put it
for
in between. I'll just put it in between Serpent's Pass and Return to Omashu. Seems nice.
which is crazy to me that we put because I just think these episodes as just straight fire after fire after fire. It's awesome, but
Yeah, they're not as good as, I mean, honestly, season two kicks butt. It does.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but of course, we got some bangers coming up. So,
Oh, absolutely.
all right, Boiling Rock Part One and Part Two. These two are very similar to each other, but Part Two is better, definitively. Um,
Yeah,
I would say Part Two, Boiling Rock Part Two, is so action packed. Like it is so dramatic. Like you got Sokka's dad returns. They do that whole thing to like kidnap the warden, get on the gondolas. You have like a 10-minute sequence of them like escaping on the gondola. Suki or you got Azula, May, and Ty Lee. May and Ty Lee betray Azula. I mean, it's awesome. It's a really good episode. I think it's S
yeah,
tier.
yeah. I can see that. Yeah, I mean, and I think that might be one of the most shocking betrayals.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're not shocked that Tyler and May betrayed Azula. Actually, you're not. May actually kind of shocks me. Tyler didn't.
Yeah.
I think we all saw from the beach.
Yeah.
I think at that specific instance, that's what shocked me.
Yeah. Well, I love one of the best lines in the whole show, delivered by May. I love Zuko more than I
Right.
fear you. Ooh, that's so good.
And when she goes in the prison and she walks in and get or oh, what's she say?
She's just mad at him.
Yeah,
Like you wrote me a letter or something like that. I don't know.
yeah. Like
I don't know. All of that was such a good one. It's not as good as Day of Black Sun Part 1, but it is better than Zuko alone. I think we can say that for sure.
I think Boiling Rock Part One. Oh, it's toughy.
Cuz it's kind of boring, really. I mean, like it's cool, it's nice to see them go undercover and stuff, and they like
That's
do the
rough,
whole
buddy.
cooler thing.
That's rough, buddy. Come on.
That is just a line. It doesn't make the episode.
Yeah.
Some
What
people
are you
don't
thinking?
react to that at all. I just think it kind of became a meme. Um, but I'm thinking, honestly, I'm kind of thinking B tier, like somewhere in B tier. Um, maybe better
I'm
than the
looking.
Avid, like right around the Chase. I think.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Um, I don't think it's as good as the Chase though. The Chase has too much action. It's too cool.
Okay, I'll give you that. What's the one after that? Or what's one worse than?
The Avatar State.
Yeah, it's better
It's
than the
it's
Avatar State.
definitely better than the Avatar State. Yeah. All right. The Southern Raiders. I absolutely love this episode.
Yeah, I enjoy it too. I think it's just on the lower end of A tier, just because it felt very predictable.
I do agree. I think it's very close to like The Storm and Tales of Ba Sing Se, in that like parts of it are amazing and the other parts are just kind of like eh.
Yeah. I need to take a call real quick.
Okay, go for it. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, maybe betraying Azula is super cool. And yes, it's like Azula loses her two closest friends, which yes would arguably be where she starts like just kind of losing her mind because she kicks people away, like she just like pushes people away from her, and she continues to do that obviously. Um, yeah, Azula's whole character arc is just really awesome. She goes like I saw somewhere it talked about how Azula started off being like precise and deadly, and then at the end she's just like manic and crazy. Like she's anything but precise. Like she's just like all over the place. But I did always hate. I hated how she.
Okay.
Oh,
Actually, to be right back. Maybe 5, 10 minutes.
okay.
Um, yeah. Sorry for the delay.
Yeah, no big deal. Um, but like let's see. Yeah, me too. I would have loved for them to go through with season 4, but honestly though, I mean, don't get me wrong, I trust them that they could have made an awesome season 4, but honestly, there's something satisfying about it just ending where it ended. Like it's like, yeah, of course you want more, but if they added more, it might have ruined it. Like it might have just kind of taken away from the fact that it is what it is. Like the war ended. I mean, they wrapped it up pretty darn well. I mean, yeah, there's a couple loose ends. I mean, really, the only true loose end was whatever happened to Zuko's mom. But like aside from that, it's like they wrapped everything up really nice. You know, you had Zuko and Aang are like friends, and they even said that everybody's hanging out in the tea shop. Like they really couldn't have ended it on a better note. And I think that trying to add on to it might have spoiled that a little bit. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I mean, obviously, I want more Avatar, but it's like I don't know. I think you don't want to mess with perfection. You know, it was just too good of an ending. And if they tried to do more, it could have screwed that up. But I was gonna say that I really hated the part where I hated the part at the end of the series where Azula was still able to just conjure up lightning, which totally contradicted what Iroh had said to Zuko, like, oh, to separate like to create lightning, you need peace of mind, which is like the absolute opposite of what Azula had. Maybe she was just that good to where she could conjure up lightning even while being insane, but I don't know. I just didn't like that major like contradiction there. And yes, I did read the comic book. Um, I've read all the comics, and yeah, I didn't like that. It wasn't very memorable to me in comic form. I would have much rather have seen it as a cartoon, but whatever. Um, it is what it is. Yeah. Um, yeah, so I guess we'll just chill until Sifu gets back. That's always fun. Um, yeah, I've been having quite the night, so I'm sorry about my multiple absences. Um, hmm, hold up. What did Sifu answer to? Who is the main map developer? Curious how he answered that question. I would say like both of us, really, but I've been all right. Um, just living life. I've been working a lot, so 40 hours a week, the big boy job. Um, you did cities and he. Yes, that yeah. So that's actually really accurate. Sifu is a lot better at just making like terrain and just kind of like designing maps. And I kind of come in and do a lot of like I do like the buildings. I do most of like the structures and finer details. Um, yeah, Sifu's a lot better at like making mountains and rivers and things like that. But I've done my fair share of that too, though. Like my biggest, honestly, I think my biggest accomplishment, building wise in the entire game was designing Ba Sing Se. I I want to take a lot of credit for Ba Sing Se. Sifu definitely helped me, and Sifu did pretty much all of the lower ring, which is way bigger than you might think. Sifu single handedly made the lower ring. I did a good chunk of the middle ring, and I did the entire upper ring. I did the entire palace, and I did all of the agrarian zone. Um, I did all of the landscape. I did, and the entire. I think I did all. I did the almost the entire like outer wall. Um, yeah, I spent a lot of time on the upper ring, and the palace. Like I honestly spent, I'd say half of my time in Ba Sing Se was spent on the upper ring and the palace alone. Um, and then maybe like 25%. Well, shoot, probably 50% of it was spent on just like the agrarian zone and all of the rivers and things because we have a lot of We have a lot of rivers in Ba Sing Se. Like if you ever look at it from like the sky, it's just like you don't understand how long it took to make all of the landscape for Ba Sing Se. Thankfully, Ba Sing Se is relatively flat, but it wasn't though even because we discovered that the rings actually get higher. So we had to kind of design it as like a tiered system where like not only do the rings get smaller, but they also get higher. Um, I'm glad you like the upper ring. I spent a long time on it, and honestly, I think it could be a lot better too. I still kind of rushed it because I wanted to get the update out, and I also didn't want to flood the place with parts. But um, yeah, I spent a good deal of time on the upper ring, kind of making a lot of those buildings custom. Um, the royal palace though was was one of the hardest things I had to do as far as like making it accurate to the show. And the Earth King's throne room. That was a lot of fun. Honestly, I did that in like one night, I think, or maybe like two. I think I started it one night and then I finished it the next, and it probably took me maybe 6 hours or something, maybe a little longer. Um, but I'm very proud of the Earth King's throne room too. Um, I just wanted it to be accurate to the show, and we already had a fun fact. Lake Lao Gai, all of Lake Lao Gai, except for maybe like one little room or something, was done years prior to Ba Sing Se. Like Lake Laogai was done before we finished the Northern Water Tribe. Believe it or not, I think we had made a few tweaks to it before we actually put it in the game. But yeah, Lake Laogai was done in before COVID. If that puts things into perspective, Lake Laogai was done before 2020. I think it was done. Actually, it was finished like right around when COVID started. I think we were done with Lake Laogai in maybe like March of 2020, March or April, something like that. Yeah, Lake Laogai caused COVID. Um, it's just so funny that I had it for so long. I had it for a very long time um, before I actually got to put it into the game. It was because when Johnny used to be a developer, Johnny354, he really wanted to make Lake Laogai, and I was like, okay. I mean, I don't know when we're gonna make Bossing Say, but it would be nice. Like, I was like, we can make Lake Laogai because I know eventually we'll use it, and so he just went ahead and made it. Like, I think he made the majority of it. I helped a little bit, but um, he actually kind of designed Lake Laogai and how that was gonna work. But it worked out really well, and we got to use it as a map for Elemental Onslaught, so it's come in handy. Something we haven't added to Bossing Say yet is the Crystal Catacombs. You might not have thought about those, but yeah, we want to add the Crystal Catacombs really bad because we already kind of have that set up from Elemental Onslaught. Uh, but yeah, eventually we'll add that. It might be a whole separate place just because Bossing Say is laggy enough as it is, but yeah. Um, hmm. Let's see. Um, da, da, da. Whew, it is very hot where I am at right now. We are almost done with this tier. Look how beautiful this tier list is. I love how all these colors are like intermingled with each other. Looks great. Um, it's actually kind of cool how Avatar seasons kind of like span the gambit. I mean, yes, like you can see that like season one kind of has this distribution that's like generally a little lower than season two and three, but season three's kind of been all over the place, and season two is pretty spread apart. But you only have one that's in D tier, so that's pretty good for season two. I mean, you can see it's got its fair share of it's got its S tiers and its A tiers. But it's got like a solid foundation. It's got a lot in B tier. Season two, looking good. Sifu is almost back, so we'll be able to get back into this. Bossing Say is such a cool idea. Like, whoever's idea that was, props to them. It's just amazing world building all around. Thanks for sticking around, guys. You're making this a lot more enjoyable. Um, let's see. Man, we only got 5 episodes left. See who's leaving us on this cliffhanger. For real, the Avatar world is perfect for a video game. Hence why we started doing this. That's why there's so many Avatar games, because people want to turn this world into something that you can like be in. That's why like we're really hoping that we can get this game to the point where it just
All
feels
right.
like so alive. Oh, welcome back.
Thank you.
We're just talking about a bunch of stuff. But anyway, um, cool. We're on hour 4 hours and 20 minutes into this tier list. Let's get it. So next, are you mentally prepared for the final 5 episodes?
Well, first, Southern Raiders. Where we end up in that?
Southern Raiders. We put it. I think you liked where we put it. We put it right before Tales of Ba Sing Se, or a little worse than Tales of Ba Sing Se.
Okay. Yeah, that seems appropriate.
I think that's solid. Yeah. Um, okay. So the Ember Island Players is next, and as funny as it is, I would feel kind of silly putting it anywhere above C tier.
Yeah, it's tough because they do what they want to do so well,
Hmm.
but it's just
Yeah. I mean, it's still amazing for what it is. Because obviously they're trying to do like a refresher on everything. Like that
yeah.
was their point for that episode, which is great. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I feel like I can't confidently put it above most of these episodes. Um, I um I don't know. Like, is it a D tier episode?
Yeah, I think it's better than the waterbending scroll.
Oh, you're way back there. It's better than Avatar Day, right?
Even then, yeah, like they're cool. What's the coolest scene at Island Players?
Well, I guess you kind of have a point. I don't know. I guess I'm just thinking about just how funny it is, and it is a little bit dramatic. Like you get a little bit of that like love drama with Aang and Katara during the intermission. Um,
That's true.
but I mean, you're kind of right though. Like if the, like the whole love interest thing isn't really your thing, then all there is to this episode is like a little bit of humor. Um, so yeah, I mean, I guess I can put it right above the waterbending scroll and feel okay with it.
Kind of hurts.
It does a little bit. But I mean, it's still great. I mean, we have to acknowledge that every one of these episodes is still, it's a part of Avatar, which is amazing. Um,
Thanks had to look super goofy. Thank you, so.
true.
All right. Citizens comment part one.
Citizens
Phoenix
Comet,
King.
I hate this one because it's like, it doesn't even feel like it should be a part of like the 4-part thing. Like, it's so just, I mean, I don't like that they tried to do a 4-parter. I mean, I see why they did, but let's just call
Uh,
it what it is, which is what you had said, the Phoenix King.
yeah. And disappears during the night. I think he goes to the lion turtle.
Well,
Has ice
before
cream.
all that, I thought there was the whole bit with
Oh,
Zuko trying to kill Aang or whatever. Like,
that's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you had that whole thing. They're like playing on the beach or whatever, tough sand bends like a boss. Um, and then yeah, I think like the whole how am I gonna kill the Fire Lord conflict is like full swing.
Yeah, I think that ends in the next episode.
Correct. Um, but like he yells. I like the part where he yells at like the rest of them. Like if you figure out a way for me to kill the Fire Lord without taking his life, I'd love to hear it. I love that because he
Yeah,
gets like you never like Aang almost never sounds more mature than that line.
yeah,
Like as far as like how like old his voice sounds. Like like he's mad and he's like serious about it.
that's true. And also we get Ozai's big evil plan
Oh,
of burn the Earth Kingdom to a
burn the
crisp.
Earth Kingdom to a crisp, which is stupid, but
Yeah, it
whatever.
is stupid. Uh, I do like how that we get to revisit June.
That happens in the next
And
episode, I thought.
no, that's in this one. I'm reading the
Oh, okay.
because they're trying to see find out where Aang is.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And she's like, yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, which
Um,
is weird. That doesn't explain anything.
yeah. Um, I think this is kind of this is like a C. I mean, it could be a B. I could see that, but
Yeah, I think it's slow B.
yeah. Kind of like Blind Bandit ish,
It's a little
maybe.
more generous than I would have been, but yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it is kind of similar to like the Southern Air Temple. Um,
yeah. Similar to all those. I trust your
yeah,
placement.
I'll just set it right after, right above, better than the Southern Air Temple.
Okay.
Um, okay, so it's in Comet Part 2. Well, I don't know what that one's called, but
The Old Masters.
mm.
Double entendre there with getting to meet the White Lotus as well as Aang talking to the old avatars.
Oh,
And it
true.
ends
Yeah.
with Sozin's comet. You see it like
I think
burning.
this one, I love seeing all the masters together.
Oh, I think everyone
It's
does. It's one of the best
so
parts.
cool. It's like all the best characters come back for the end.
Oh, and this is when we get the hug with Iroh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so
Oh,
powerful. It has to be up there in A tier.
and I know it's not in this episode. We can't count it, but I know in the comics, this is when Toph and Boomy have their duel to use the best Earth
Uh,
Master.
true.
Uh,
Um, what
I
about?
go A.
Yeah, I think I could see it being A, probably right around the storm in the Avatar and the Fire Lord. Um, probably better, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's better than the library.
I think so too. I think I might stop there. Though. I don't think it can get better than the season 1 finale.
Yeah.
Um, all right, cool.
Is that
Two
is that
more.
three apart? Is that three part twos in a row? That's
Um,
funny.
is it? It sure is. Yeah, that's cool. All right.
Into the Inferno is next. Sokka, Toph, and Suki begin destroying the airship fleet. Aang duels Ozai, but is soon overwhelmed because of his reluctance to kill him. So I think this is when Aang has the lightning and could kill him, but he doesn't.
Yes, and then
Zuko fights Azula and Agni Kai, but is shot by lightning in the process of saving Katara from the oncoming bolt.
oh wow, so this is like where all like the real drama happens. I would say, aside from like the end.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I mean a heck of a lot happens here. I'm gonna say right off the bat, this is S tier. Don't know
Yeah, I mean, it
where.
has the Agni Kai.
Right. And it's better than Zuko alone, obviously.
Yeah.
Is it better than Boiling Rock Part 2? I think it
Ooh.
kinda is, just because of how absolutely epic it is.
Yeah.
And you have to remember that like there are parts of Boiling Rock Part 2 that are kind of just like talking. Like just dialogue.
I think it's better than so, Hannah just joined the Discord, nice.
Oh.
Uh, I think it's I think it's better than Day of Black Sun Part One, just because there's a lot more emotion involved in this.
I I agree. I agree. It's just like you're so invested. Um yeah, I don't think it's better than Crossroads of Destiny because Crossroads of Destiny is just so dramatic. Like we already made our points about that, but
At this point, it's like, yeah, you have highs and lows here, but Crossroads of Destiny, you just have episodes full length of highs and lows.
right. Um, Sozin's Comet Part 4. What's it called? Avatar Aang.
Yeah. They defeat Azula and traps her in ice. She heals Zuko, driving Azula into insanity. Sokka, Toph, and Suki destroy the airship fleet. Aang defeats Oza after going to the Avatar state and removes his bending abilities. Afterwards, Zuko is crowned Fire Lord, and Aang and Katara share a kiss.
I think it's safe to say that this is the best episode in the entire show.
Oh. Ah.
It's so it has everything good about the Earth King because it's a feel good episode. Every part of it is amazing, but also
That's
every
true.
every loose end gets tied. I mean, it's even more so. It's like amplified the Earth King. Not to mention Aang grabbing onto Ozai's goatee and absolutely wrecking the man. Um, I don't know, and well, that and Katara annihilating Azula was so satisfying.
Yeah.
Are you guys making a video?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, man. I just, I can accept it. It's either number one or it's one, two, or three. I'm trying to
I mean,
decide.
I just think I don't know. I just think like my I guess what it comes down to for me is that I'm just as emotionally invested in this as I am Crossroads of Destiny. Like I want to know how it's going to end. I'm hype. I want to know. The only difference is what I was saying earlier, where Crossroads of Destiny makes me feel like a piece of garbage, whereas this makes me happy as I'll get out. So it's
All
like,
right. So I'll give it to you for the sake of it wraps up everything. It's last episode, and I'm nostalgic, right?
yeah,
But I need to make my points first. Of why,
yeah, yeah, of course, yeah.
even as the best episode, there's some things that I think just make Crossroads of Destiny close to being better.
Okay,
Is
okay,
that one? You don't have the ups and downs as much. Yeah, sure, it's all feel good, but even in all the feel good moments, you have a bunch of like what ifs, or not what ifs, but like what now kind of things where Azula going crazy afterward, like you start to feel bad for her. It's almost like like you feel sympathetic for her going crazy.
mm-hmm.
Um, you know, Sokka, Toph, and Suki. That there's not really much else to that storyline. Ozai at the very end of the episode, Zuko asks him what happened to my mother. I hate like oh, it was such a perfect ending. Well, I guess it wasn't perfect ending yet, but having to leave us on cliffhanger for the comics
Yeah,
makes me really mad.
yeah,
I love what they're doing core though to answer that. It's funny.
mm-hmm.
And Katara share a kiss. Sure, gives us an answer. The Zuko and Aang scene at the very end as friends of the people is awesome. But I just you know where everything's heading. You know everything's gonna be feel
The
good. You kind of have a sense.
yeah, I mean that's true. Um, I don't know. I guess I just love how well it does wrap everything up. Aside from Zuko's mom, um, I mean you can only fit so much in 22 minutes,
Right.
but I don't know. It's like if anything, I would say it's just like it's pretty much like I want to rank it with part three. Like I want to put
Yeah.
part three and part four right next to each other. But then I don't know. I start thinking about Crossroads of Destiny and how awful it makes me feel every time I watch it. Um, I don't know. It's just like
That's true. It's a very satisfying episode, so I'll give you
yeah,
spot.
it's just so satisfying. Like I don't know. It's everything you want to happen and everything. Like you're right. Everything you expect to happen does happen. But you're just glad to see it. You know, like
Right.
it's not like you don't want it to happen. Um,
I mean, Jeremy Zuckerman's at his absolute peak there too with the music. So,
oh yeah, yeah.
great.
The last Agni Kai.
Oh,
Um, yeah.
and the painting at the end after they share the kiss,
Yes.
and Devasi said,
Yes.
"Beautiful."
It's so good. Um, so is this it? Have we
I think this is
completed
it.
our Avatar tier list?
Oh, that's tough.
It was tough. Cool.
Top.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Sounds like tough. Um, all right. Well, it's been a long video, but we've got our tier list. It's looking
Let us
great.
know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, take a screenshot, throw it in the Discord server, because I already know people are about to have major gripes with this.
I have some takeaways. So I'll say that for the chat.
That's true. I'm sure there's definitely something like I'm sure we could spend an hour looking at this thing and rearranging things,
Oh, I know.
but like at least it's nice to have something that we put together at first glance, you know.
Right.
Um, and I think it's pretty solid. So very nice. And of course, this doesn't 100% accurately reflect me or Sifu's individual opinions. It's just kind of our average opinion, which I guess
Yeah.
makes it more accurate on average. But
I think I need to make my character tier list next to compete with yours.
you
I'm,
should.
I'm,
You
I haven't
should.
watched your video yet, so I should do it before.
Yeah, yeah. Make your character tier list, and we can do a video of just us yelling at each other over why our tier list is better than the others.
Gyatso is better than Azula. Come on.
No.
All right.
Gyatso is better
Oh,
than Azula.
thank you.
um,
Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate your attention over the past 4 hours.
yep, yep. All
You
right.
guys have been on here for 4 hours.
Yes.
Kinda.
Anyway, see ya later.
Bye.